Hello, girls, guys, or otherwise. This is Rich with another Tarot Talk Tuesday. Today we are going over the Six of Wands as we make our way through the entirety of the tarot deck, the Rider-Waite-Smith version. So anyway, as per usual, right before I get into it, if you are not yet subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. It should be right down here. Hit that bell notification, hit that like button if you like these videos, and hit the dislike button if you dislike these videos. It all appeases the algorithmic gods of YouTube. All hail the algorithmic gods of YouTube. If you dislike these videos, or if you have anything to add, take away, whatever, do leave a comment down in the nether regions. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and get on into it. Let's pull up the pictorial key of the tarot. Let's pull up today's image. And the pictorial key of the tarot, written by A.E. Waite, says, "A laureled horseman bears one staff adorned with a laurel crown. Footmen with staves are at his side. Divinatory meaning." See, okay, let's stop there. I have nothing to add or take away. His description there is fine. It is completely accurate. I have no notes. Divinatory meaning. The card has been so designed that it can cover several significations. Okay, however you say it. On the surface, it is a victor triumphing. Okay, yes, I agree with that. But it is also great news, such as might be carried in a state by the king's courier. It is... Hold on. I gotta make this just a little bit bigger. It is expectation crowned with its own desire. The crown of hope and so forth. Okay. Reversed. Fear... or apprehension, fear as of a victorious enemy at the gate. Treachery, disloyalty as of gates being opened to the enemy. So, also indefinite delay. Okay. I kind of disagree with those. Yeah. Okay, so we got that out of the way. I kind of disagree with the divinatory meanings. The good news, the upright ones, I don't necessarily disagree with. It is the ones in reverse that I do disagree with. We'll get more into that in a second here. Let me go ahead and get rid of that. We're going to make this just a little bit bigger. There we go. And now I can sit to the side. To the left side now. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So, first things first, there's a lot of things to cover here, and I don't want to take up too much time doing it. So, like I said, I have nothing to take away about the overall image of, or the description of the image, sorry about that, of what A.E. Waite had described there. So, first things first, I want to go and look into is the crown of laurels. Okay. So they have this crown on. It's obviously a victorious type of deal. This guy is a big deal. We are getting the congratulatory meaning of this card. We also see something similar with the wreath on the wand. So some things to take away here on the upright version is victory. Excuse me. Victory being of this person. This person has just had a victory or is being in a parade and is the representation of said victory. So some other things that I want to look at here. One thing that popped out to me is this horse. Often, as is very much so in the early 1900s, the depiction of a white or black horse is a little on the nose as far as racism. So I do want to call attention to that. This horse is white and is part of a victory. So I'm going to pause right there. We're going to come back in just a minute. Okay, and we're back. I'm sorry about that. I needed to... I heard the dinner bellow happen, and yeah, my boyfriend was making dinner and called me to dinner as I was recording. So, anywho, yeah, I wanted to point out the white horse um, for kind of racist undertones. I don't know if that was something that was planned or that is part of a systematic thing, but equating white with victory or um, I don't know. If I were to look at this as um, a point of non-racial um, of a non-racial outlook, I would say that this is an unsoiled horse. It doesn't have a mark on it, pure in some aspect. But again, systematic racism there. Um, so yeah, I don't know how to equate that. Usually, whenever we equate white, we equate purity, we equate white, which is part of systematic racism, and I don't like that. Um, the horse, on the other hand, looks very regal. I mean, the horse doesn't choose what color it is and whatnot. It is draped in this green blanket, uh, very much in a parade type situation with the decorative reins, the ornamental parts on the reins and whatnot. So very much a parade style horse, one that would be seen in many parades. But I did want to point that out because it kind of bugged me whenever I was looking at this card and looking at some things that stood out to me. Is why not a black horse? Why not a red horse? I mean, we have red in the garments and whatnot, so I mean, the colors might not have worked well or might not have shown up as nicely. But there's questions that I have, and I just wanted to pose those to the rest of the group here, to see what y'all made of that. You know what? Let me make these icons a little bit bigger so I can actually see which ones I'm looking at. There we go. Okay. And another one I wanted to look at here is, while we're focusing on the horse and aspects surrounding the horse, we have the feet in the stirrups. Now, we only see one of them. I would imagine that the other one, being somebody who's ridden horses in the past, I would imagine that let me turn this off too. Okay. I would imagine that the other foot is also in the stirrups. Again, looking at the boot, very ornamental type of boot. You don't see much of a heel on there, which, you know, given the detail and everything that has been put into these as far as minutia detail, I wouldn't really expect that. But showing that the person has stirrups, they're not riding necessarily bareback. Their saddle is like underneath that blanket. So they do have a stability there. They are stable in their victory, in their ride. They are not riding bareback, which is one thing that, if you've ridden horses before, I wouldn't even try. I know people who have done it. To me, it does not seem like an easy thing. For somebody who, like me, who is an anxious person, definitely not something that I would want to try, because it just makes me anxious to think about, trying to hold on, but not squeeze hard enough that it makes the horse go. So yeah, definitely something I want to note there is that he has a support system that has been behind him, or in this case, underneath him. He has a support system. He has proper footing for this victory ride. So it would be, following that line of logic, it would be logical to see that he has had this backing before. And that brings me to the next one, which are the people in the background. Now, I know my head's cut off a little bit here, but the people in the background, even though they're obviously supposed to be cheering, they don't really, if you look, let me blow this up here a little bit. If you look at the people that I circled there, they don't really seem like they're cheering. They don't seem like they're happy, but this is obviously a parade. It is obviously a victory ride. So one would assume that these are people that are, there we go. It would be obvious to assume that these are people who are celebrating the victory and celebrating this individual. So that's something I noted as I was looking at this card. I'm like, these people aren't smiling. It doesn't look like they're really cheering or anything, but they could be people who are this person's backing. You know, they may have gone through this trouble or the struggle, the war, whatever the victory is over. They may have gone through this fight with them. This individual on the horse may just be the commander of the troops, or the hero of all the troops. You know, they are kind of the foot soldiers and whatnot, which, you know, in a military situation, yes, your generals and your leaders in power are going to be a little bit more, you know, up front and center of the victory ride than your people who are the actual ones really fighting. So something I wanted to note there. They still seem like they are cheering because of the look of the parade and whatnot, but it doesn't seem like they are really happy to be there overall with their, if you just look at just their facial features. So anyway, let's move on to the last one that I have here, and that is the wands. Of course, we have 6 of them. Surprise. So with these 6 wands, you know, one is obviously being carried by the person on the horse, the central titular figure. We have one being carried by this person on the horse. It has a laurel wreath on it. Nobody else's has a wreath on it or anything of that nature, but they are all carrying their implements that they have taken through the battle and whatnot. They are not shy about showing what they used to fight with and what got them through the battle. Their trusted staff, their trusted wand in this case, that helped get them through the tough times. So that's a little bit different than modern parades, but, you know, hey, you still see, you know, in parades and whatnot, you still see a tank coming down and whatnot, you know, in more modern parades. I'm talking like World War II type modern, not like, you know, Middle Ages modern. Anyway, I'm not talking about today modern, because, well, anytime somebody has a military parade today, usually is a big sign that they might be a dictator and that you might want to question a little bit more. So anyway, let's move over to the overall upright meaning. The upright meaning, like I said, for A.E. Wade's description, I don't really have any complaints about. To me, this one is about the victory. You are victorious over something, and others are celebrating with you. This is a happy card. This is a good card to get, whether it's in the present or in the future. This means that either you are victorious right now, or you are victorious in the future, if I can do it on the right side of the screen. Or you will be victorious in the future. And others will celebrate along with you. Now, if this is in the past, you know, it could be talking about a past celebration that you've had, of course. But this card overall is about the celebration and the celebration aspect. So that is the upright meaning that it has for me, and for many others out there. Now, in the reversed, if you happen to read reversals, which I do, in the majority of cases, in reversed, this is a lot like, I believe it was the 5 of Wands, where, yes, I'm pretty sure it's the Five of Wands, where we are going through a situation where, in the upright, it's like, okay, you're in a situation and you're fighting in a bigger setting. In the reverse, it's more cloistered. It's more of a small victory, a victory just for yourself. Like, this is the victory over smoking, the victory over, um, you know, over. Let's see, what's a good one? A victory over not indulging in that ice cream that's sitting in the fridge. That's uh, cookies and cream and one of your favorites. So yeah, guess what I'm eating after this? Probably just a spoonful, just one, maybe. Anyway, yes, this is the small victories. These are the small things that we are still victorious over. Um, Now, depending on what cards are around it, um, and depending on your feeling on this, it could be that you don't have a victory at all. So do draw your attention to this card whenever it comes up, especially in reversals. Uprights, to me, it always means a victory, a solid victory. In a reversal, it could mean that you didn't win. It could be a major upset. It could be maybe a smaller victory than what you originally planned. So these are things that I would say be careful of saying that you have a victory whenever this is in reversal. So again, reading it aligned with the cards around it and the stories, maybe pull a clarifying card, and if that clarifying card is also is a positive type of card, maybe you get the sun or something like that with this card as a clarifying card if this comes up reversal. If you get the sun, fantastic, great, good on you. This is going to be a victory, just might not be as big as you wanted it to be. If it comes up as like the tower, yeah, strap on, strap in, whatever the term is. Because yeah, you might have a troublesome time with that upset. Excuse me. So, with all that being said, this has been the Six of Wands. You don't know how many times I keep on wanting to, and I may have, and I'm not going to edit it out, but may have even said the suit of swords instead of wands, because oh my gosh, I am still stuck on swords. I had such a great time with swords. Swords is one of my favorite suits, but also one of the ones that is most troublesome. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I started researching stuff on the swords and everything, at the beginning. That was the first suit that I went to, and it's just stuck with me as a favorite of the suits. So, anyway, I hope this clarified some things for this week's Tarot Talk Tuesday. Now, I do believe next Tuesday, nope, we are back again with the Seven of Swords next Tuesday, so join me then for the Seven of Swords. The following Tuesday is what I was making sure of, is whenever we are doing a deck review and reveal. So join me for both of those Tuesdays, for Tarot Talk Tuesdays, where we talk all about tarot. Anyway, I will see you tomorrow for Witchy Wednesday, and until next time, may you have love, hugs, and ladybugs. Bye-bye.